Do we have to be quiet?
I muted you, so now you don't have to be quiet. What's up, fellas?
Hi.
How's everybody doing?
What's up there?
Is this Junkyard Breaks?
It is Junkyard Breaks. I'm sorry, I didn't even do an intro. Wow, one day and I lost it. I lost it all.
You're fired.
How's
This is
everybody
not our
doing?
best work.
No. How's everybody doing? Good?
Good.
Good.
Sorry
Living the life.
for everybody coming on today. It's Thursday instead of Wednesday. Sorry about that. We had stuff going on. Everybody had stuff going on yesterday.
It was the day of failure.
It was a failure day.
Junkyard failure.
I think, well, we don't have a theme for today, but we can definitely discuss our New Year's resolutions and how I failed miserably and how the three of you are doing pretty good.
I'm doing awesome because I didn't make any.
You kind of did. You had a
Yeah.
quest.
Yeah,
I did.
You have new quests.
You have,
I did.
You have a
That is
bowling
true.
quest.
you have a
I
Swamp
do have a
Thing
bowling
quest and a
quest.
bowling quest, and Jimmy has his Adam Hughes quest, and Jason has his ASM run quest, and
Yeah.
I failed at my FOMO quest. My quest to not fall the victim of FOMO. Man, did I screw up.
Is it really a screw up?
No, I'm actually happy, but it's just went against everything that I said I was gonna not do.
It just went against everything I know to be good and true.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy that the book that I chose to screw up on, I'm happy with, but
Right.
I don't know. It is what it is. So anyway, how's everybody hanging? Jimmy, how you doing? Let's
Let's address the elephant in the room
Let's address you first, so you can just kind of get to folding.
Let's address the screen printer in the
How you
room.
doing, brother?
I'm working hard.
Yeah. Did you get anything? Obviously, you don't have mail
this
call
week?
here, but did you get stuff?
What did I get? Did I get anything this week? No. I actually sold books this week,
Nice.
but
Cool.
actual books, not comic books.
Still, it's
Yeah.
it's selling to get books.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
All right, that's cool. Jason,
I mean, I got another short box this week. I got the '80s collection that I was talking about last week. So, I mean, some highlights. I'll just do a couple highlights.
Yeah.
I got these insanely pristine
yeah, they really are nice.
Motu books. So
Yeah.
all 9 of these books are available on eBay right now.
You know that
so,
because I think you have it too. You know that Hodak is a really small print run.
the number 9,
I think so.
I sold this today.
Yeah, that's the one that's a very low print run. That one goes for a lot of money.
This book today.
Because I know I pulled one out of RC for like, how much did I pay for that one, Jimmy? Like $2?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
the newsstand. I bet somebody. I don't know that they'll. If I was positive that you could get 9/8, the one that's really surprising. This has 0 views thus far.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
That's Hodak front and center. I mean,
Shocking.
that's beautiful.
It is ridiculous how nice these are. And if I weren't so sure that everything would just get a 9.6, I probably would have kept things and submitted them myself. But
What's up, Joe?
that's not what I'm in the business to do.
Wasn't
Yeah.
Hordak a Shira bad guy, really?
Yeah, I think he did end up going over to Shira.
So
Yeah, most of the whole Hordes thing became a Shira thing.
I actually sold Hodak this morning, and I sold Mask 1 through 6.
Oh, you sold the run? Good.
This
Nice.
morning, yeah.
I love that run. I love those toys. We talked
And
about
then,
that at length.
and then the other series that is kind of tough, but was in here. Actually, I got really high grade NAM books too, which I'll probably throw up as a lot.
Yeah, you have to throw that up as a lot.
But I got, these I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with yet, but these are all stupid high grade Thundercats books. Number one, I will probably get graded. It is freaking gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then I got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No breaks 1 through 11, and then 13. There's a couple 13, 18, 19, but then I got the last 24, 23, 22, 21, and 20.
How many are in that run?
Pardon me?
How many are in that run? How long did that go for?
Only 24 issues. This
24.
book is apparently really difficult. 24, and this was a newsstand.
Yeah.
So that's really nice. And
I mean, if you said you don't have to necessarily put the 1 aside. If you sold it as a lot and with the 1 as the cornerstone, you can name your price on that one.
Yeah, this one must have had a really low print run too. 22, third to last.
Yeah.
Third ridiculous shape. So these were really great books, and then the other good books were they had a pretty nice, only like a 20 or so issue run of X-Men. And no, there was no like first Gambit or anything like that, but there was a really clean first Mr. Sinister in here. So
it's really hard to, if you get an X-Men run, it's really hard to miss any key.
Yeah, like
right.
You could throw darts and hit a key at the
these
X-Men
three
run.
right off the bat.
Yeah,
Gorgeous
that's a good one.
anniversary, gorgeous version of that
That's a good one
that
too.
book, and then this one was the one that Christopher got the other week. Gorgeous version of that.
Yeah.
And then I saw 214, 215, 216, 217. I knew 221 was coming up, and I was like, oh, of course it'll of course be gone, but it was not gone. And this one I'll probably get graded. It's a newsstand too, and it's really really nice. And Jimmy and I had this as we got it in an Acme 3-pack at an Acme grocery store back in the day, but ours was the classic, the more fun classic version.
Yeah.
So, and then this I think Chris got a bunch of these in his collection too. So
I think
yeah.
Sinister is going to be a big part of the X-Men, the animated relaunch.
Yeah, 97.
Yeah, that's what
I
it's
just
called,
saw
right? 97.
A bunch of articles on that.
Yeah, it looks like Sinister's going to be the main baddie.
bunch of other books in the collection too, but those are kind of the highlights.
Pretty good
A
highlights.
lot of random stuff beyond that. So yeah, so those are certainly the highlights. But really really nice condition. The people I bought it for were super nice. It was actually a lady's childhood collection. So she really,
A lady.
a lady. It was a lady. She really liked Cloak and Dagger, so she wanted to keep the Cloak and Dagger books.
Oh, man.
Funny enough, I was like,
Yeah.
my offer won't change at all if you keep those 20
That's all right.
Cloak and Dagger books. It'll be the same exact offer. So,
Yeah,
so it was nice. It was.
that's
good.
cool.
I met them at the show too, the con. So they stopped
Oh,
by.
is that the
They
connection?
talked to a bunch of people, and decided to go with me because it was local, and I gave them the time of day essentially. So
Yeah. Hey Jimmy, that's the automatic?
Yeah,
How is it?
I haven't seen it run yet,
Oh, really? That's pretty cool.
but they say they love it.
Yeah. That's
They
pretty
say.
And the guys seem to fight over who's going to run it.
And it's just a flash dryer?
Yeah, it's a flash right here.
Yeah. So no conveyor. It just it runs, it flashes, and then next color.
Yeah, you just print it. It runs over there, and then
It's pretty
it
awesome.
flashes in the middle.
Is it 6?
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this one only has 4 heads.
4
Oh, I'm
over
sorry.
4? Or 4 over 3 or 4 over 4? That's
It
pretty
has
cool.
6 heads. It has 6 heads.
Cool. Very cool.
But right now they have
that
it
Atlantic
set
City
for
show was
4.
last weekend. I
They
kind
have
of.
it set up as a 4 over 6.
All right, cool. All right, Crumbs, what you got?
Man, I got
Uh-oh.
a lot. I got a lot.
Look out.
So, first and foremost, I finally
is Brian Bolin tied and gagged in your closet?
got. Yeah.
Quiet.
I got a Swamp Thing or House of Secrets 92.
whoa,
You did?
Uh-oh.
He's been keeping this one a secret. Oh,
It's a
The
real.
foil, yeah.
Technically, it counts. It's hard to see.
you can kind of see it.
There we go.
That's nice.
It's super shiny, but it's pretty cool. But yeah, it's a red eye foil variant, limited to 1,000.
Who made that?
Gabriel Delato. This is Carnivore Comics.
Carnivore Comics got a DC license?
Apparently,
Yeah.
at least for this one.
That's cool.
It
Interesting.
said, Carnivore Comics and Comic Town.
Okay. Very.
But
Oh,
yeah.
I see. So they contacted DC and had a bunch made. Cool. Very
Yeah.
cool.
But I saw that and I was like, I think I want that. Then
Yeah.
Blue Book. I got the one per store,
Yeah. That's a good one.
and
I gotta
everything
start reading.
everything else is bowling, and
Yeah.
a lot of it.
Cool.
I got Judge Dredd, the Judge Child Quest, complete on these, and they're all
A lot of
They're all-
those come through my head.
those.
Too early to start yawning.
Those are Eagle. These are Eagle. Chris?
These are all these are all
those
Eagle Comics.
Eagle. That's like volume 2.
Yeah, then we got Crime Files.
That's the next one.
Got all those. Oh, there's another Crime File. There were 6 of those. And then,
Did you buy it? You just bought a lot?
yeah,
Not a lot. You bought a lot.
Both of those things.
Yeah,
are
either
true.
way, yeah.
they both hold water.
Yeah.
Then the early cases.
Yeah.
Got those. I got the
never- I
original
never read
series
them, though.
on the way, 1 through 35,
Okay.
but that they have not showed up yet. And my Bolin box is full.
Time for a bowl and long
Your
box.
Bowling
Yes.
box is bursting.
It is bursting with Bolin, and then I got the 2000 AD monthly.
Cool.
Got all those.
Those are also Eagle, right?
These are also yes, Eagle Comics. And then I found a bunch of Invisibles
Oh, cool.
that he did. So a bunch of volume 2.
Weren't they
and
going to turn that into a show, and they never did, or were they still
I
planning
don't-
on it? thought
I
they were
don't
doing something
know.
with Invisibles.
I think that would be a very odd one
Yeah.
to attempt because it's drugged, tripped out, hallucinogenic Morrison.
Yeah.
Oh, and you guys didn't see these either.
Guess I always wanted to, because I like Brewbreaker, I always wanted to see sex criminals brought to this.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I would love to see like a Kill or Be Killed series.
That would be cool, too.
That would be awesome. But I showed you the Vamps. Did you see these? These are cool. We'll start with the first one here. Jack of Fables.
Oh yeah,
Those are pretty cool.
yeah.
I got the whole run. But yeah, just like I'm swimming in it. And then from the same place that I got all of the Invisibles from, they had a couple random dollar Swamp Things.
Cool.
So I grabbed a bunch of these too.
Yeah.
But yeah, to show you everything would be like,
Yeah.
we'd be here for a minute. So, but
But
that's
Yeah,
that's the
mine
long
is,
that's the long and short of it.
Did I leave something? I did leave something over there. Give me 1 second.
Oh, sir. Most importantly, my key.
boom.
There it is.
Key. Or are you just showing us your key?
Yep.
Oh.
I forgot about
Nice.
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yay.
Chris, how white is the white on that cover?
It looks whiter and through the screen,
Yeah.
but
It's like it's got kind of that tan around it, right?
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But it seems like it's a little dirty, but that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's because the one I got for Jimmy was like that.
This is a really, really nice copy, though. It's probably, I would say, if it got less than a 9.4, I'd be shocked.
hmm Usually we can even, like, it depends on what the 9.4 is. We could bring that up to a 9.6 if it's just little wrinkles here and there. Or
Yeah, I think
'Cause
it's,
'cause it's white,
a little bit of
'cause-
corner wear.
All right. Yeah, because usually those spine ticks don't show up so good on the white, so they get away with more.
Yeah. No, there aren't any spine ticks on it. It's
Yeah.
really nice.
All right. So what I got, I did pretty good on Goodwill again. I got this run for $19. It was Spider-Gwen 1 through 5. I did get and the one in the front is the second print, so that one's worth more than the Spider-Gwen one. You can always tell by the blue bottom. I got also from, well, this was from the Woodbridge Toy Show. I grabbed this stack of the Batman. These are all the reds and the blues. So this is the next set I'm trying. I
Dude, they're awesome.
I
They
picked
look
all
so
these
nice.
up for $20. Because I have the black ones that I have all had that kid's name. It's like Richard Miller or something written on the back of like 10 of them. I did buy another lot of the black ones on Goodwill, and they were $40, I think, for the whole stack.
They look pretty
But
clean
They
too.
were pretty clean. Some of them are, but I also got these, and I didn't have this run. This is 1966 Donruss Marvel cards. Some highlights. There's a mean Hulk and Daredevil. But these are really cool, and they all have a big giant character on the back.
Cool.
So one of the highlights is this awesome
It's puzzle.
Spidey card. Yeah, I like puzzle cards. Nice Peter Parker card. But anyway,
Those
it's got,
those
like,
1966 Spider-Man cards go for
yeah, they
a pretty
do all
penny.
right. But what's cool is, so you got Daredevil, and it says write your own quote in there. There you go. So it wants you to fill in the blanks. So I guess you can have a fair amount of them that are written on. Also from Goodwill, I got this nice 1971 Gordie Howe. It's in really
Pretty.
nice condition, well centered. I got that for half of its like value online. So then, as we were talking about, I did end up picking one. I've been scoping a near mint copy of this, and I did not spend all that much, but I did get the Marvel Team Up Annual 1. This is the first crossover between Spider-Man and X-Men, and this is actually the first one that hasn't been mentioned in the the top 10 or the runners-up. Like, this one has actually been under the radar still, so this one, I'm excited about this one, Spider-Man and X-Men crossover. Now, as far as my slabs, so upstairs I've been reading Brubaker. I've been reading the New Avengers, and in the New Avengers there's a character called John Amon, and he's actually the Prince of Orphans. I just like his bag, and if they start using Brubaker stuff for future Captain America books, This is his first appearance in Immortal Iron Fist. It also has the appearance of the Immortal Weapons. So there's a bunch of characters that were spec'd on a long time ago with Iron Fist. But this does have the Prince of Orphans in here, and I really like the character. I like how he's written. He's kind of like a, I don't know, he's like a Moon Knight slash, I don't know, like a death character. He can like reappear, and he does a bunch of cool stuff. Anyway, I like him. And also I picked this up, Daredevil number 183 at the Woodbridge Toy Show.
Oh, cool.
In a 9.0. I got this for $60. I was like, yeah, all right, why not? For $60. You throw in half the grading fees, and, it's not anything for the book. And then, of course, this is me and my FOMO failure. I picked up two 655s. First appearance in cameo of Damian Wayne. I paid retail, so I think some of them are going for like $300. I paid $260 each shipped. So that's kind of, I nabbed them both. I lost the third one. I did have a bid for the third one.
None of those are newsstands, are they?
They're not newsstands, no. And then at the Woodbridge Toy Show for $10, I got a
Kermit.
Kermit's my favorite from growing up, so I had to, for $10, I got a Kermit.
Well worth it. Well worth
That's
it.
a Christmas Carol Kermit, isn't it?
It is a Christmas Carol Kermit. So anyway, that's it. That's my mail call. Pretty simple.
Yay!
Exactly.
Yeah, my week sucks. Everybody else had
Well, you're also not
bad
home. I'm
week.
sure we'd find something.
My birthday week is going to be bangers.
There you go.
Gonna be a banger.
So that's it. How so I know you guys are watching Mandalorian. I have not watched it yet. Jimmy, you're one episode behind.
One behind.
I haven't even started it. You're up to date?
I'm up to date.
Okay.
I am.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really trying to avoid spoilers as much as I can.
Did you watch all of this, The Last of Us?
I binged it, yeah. It ended exactly how I expected it to end.
The movie, the video game ended.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't remember what kind of future Joel had though, because I don't know if he's in the second one. I don't remember. Don't you play as Elle?
Griffin's currently playing the second one, so
Really?
yeah.
I thought it was pretty heavy, man.
I know his mother.
How old, Griff?
His mother has allowed him to play this. Not necessarily, my blessing, but he had already started playing it.
Yeah, I thought like in the first few minutes they like straight up murder a dude.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
All right.
Supposedly, there's a guy in the second movie that's sort of like, what's his name from Walking Dead? Negan. Isn't he like a Negan character?
I think so. I didn't play the second one. I just heard so many bad things about it. I was like, eh.
Well,
Griff says it's much harder than the first game.
Harder?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll play it. I haven't even thought about playing it.
I heard that there's a third game in development now.
That doesn't surprise me. What was really cool though was I didn't know this until I was really paying attention to the credits, that Craig Mazin was the guy who wrote it and produced it, and Craig Mazin is the guy who wrote and produced Chernobyl. So that the theme makes a lot of sense, or his style makes a lot of sense, because Chernobyl was freaking amazing.
Yeah, I thought it was just done really, really well.
Last of Us?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's he smartly broke it up too. They were perfect episodes. Like each one was.
Hopefully, the second season is going to be broke up into two seasons, or the second
game, two seasons.
Two seasons.
All right. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. All right. Anyway, what are we doing this weekend? I know we got King Con, we got Big Apple Con. What's going on by you?
Nothing much. I may actually sell at the flea market on Sunday.
Is the weather going to be nice enough?
Yeah, in the upper 50s here. So
Yeah.
it's not the outdoor. What's kind of so the true outdoor flea market doesn't open till next week, but this is the place I sold at Christmas where it's in an indoor market, but they have about 15 tables that you can rent for $20 that are just on this concrete, like right out immediately adjacent.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try one of those, and my buddy might come and sell cards. Like we'll go just halvesies on the table. It's only $20 to do, and I probably have 4 short boxes of priced books that I didn't have the last time I did it before Christmas. So I'll give it a shot for a Sunday morning.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be now committed to a May card show indoors. This girl, Lindsay, who's, Alex, my friend Alex, AK Triple Play on Twitch. He's been doing a show with this girl for a while now, and I think she can get me like the 2 tables next to his. So we'd cover the whole back wall, which would be nice.
What is the have you looked into the local one there anymore? The one that's been in the
St.
basement
Anne's
forever? Yeah.
No, I haven't. I have not, and I still want to look at actually making a show. There's a lot of shows now, though. The competition is, it seems like every weekend there's at least 5 local comic and card shows. So I don't know. I think it's like the same when I started New High Auctions. I think I'm joining the game a little late, and just to be bottom of the big pack might be tough to get it going. I don't know. I just don't know if I have the resources to dump all that like advertising just to get a show off the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like anything else. Get your feet wet and do some shows. Get back into it. I mean, that's what you did for so long when you were a kid with your dad, and you just haven't done that for a long time. So
yeah.
That's why I thought that one at the church is like basically down the street. Like, what a great way you might be able to.
But did you get the impression that there were tables available, though? It seemed like those guys have been selling in the same spot for like 30 years.
I don't know. I mean, there was a couple of those kids there that looked like, they're either running drugs or running baseball cards.
Yeah.
And they just chose the baseball cards, so those kids aren't even 30 years old, for God's sake. Some of them didn't even seem like they were 20 years old.
Yeah, maybe I can ask, because I know 2 of the guys that are in that show. That my friend Dale and my friend oh my God, my friend, I can't remember his name, my friend, but yeah.
I thought there was remember that the kind of the oddball guy that you bought those books off of and stuff and cards towards the end. I felt like catty corner from him up by like I don't remember whether it was like a little stage they had there or whatever.
Yeah,
I felt like there was
a
a hole in that corner. So maybe there's
true. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, maybe there's an opportunity there.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I definitely have to get in on a show.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, that's the other reason why I wanted to start my own toy comic card pop culture show is like, so I have enough friends where I'm sure I can get at least 20 tables filled before I even have to reach out to people I don't know and advertise. Like, I could probably fill half of a show.
Right.
Hey, what's up, Rafaust? Yeah, we all 4 of us had stuff going on yesterday. But yeah, I would love to get something going. But yeah, you're right. Maybe I should spend half a year at least, or 1 season selling and getting back into it. I also know, though, that I'm really not actively trying to replenish my inventory either. Right. So if I sell out, I got nothing for next year.
Yeah, but that's okay that's too. Okay. I mean,
hey, I can also always run a show and not have to sell at it.
Sure, and you can also there's probably some hesitancy to buy a bunch if you already have inventory that you want to move. So if you really truly want to move it, what's the harm in taking shooting your shot?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
You know.
Yeah, I was always on the other side of the table, though. I never, even back in the day, my dad and I never even looked into like hosting a show.
Right.
That was never on my radar. It just seems like, like I always say, like, like even in screen printing, like Jimmy's doing, the money's not in selling T-shirts. The money is selling the equipment. So it's like, it's just being the guy above the guy. It's always like, you don't want to be the guy attending the show, or you don't even want to be the guy selling at the show. You want to be the guy hosting the show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think like if you could try some of those little ones, certainly that one that's local to you, it's almost like, the stuff that you didn't like about Meadowlands, getting up at the friggin' butt crack of dawn to drive 50 miles,
Yeah.
where I know it wasn't 50 miles, but, driving basically into the teeth of the city, or attempting to drive there.
Yeah.
Just like those things hopefully could be alleviated by, all I got to do is I'm going to pack enough for this 6-foot table, and that's that,
Yep.
Just throw it in the car and get down there, and it'd be easy setup. And then, you sell out, like you said. You're like, oh, that's awesome. I sold out, and either have some cash to turn into stuff from my PC, or cash to maybe replenish a little bit.
Yeah. Chris, how did you end up doing on what's his name? Hip Comics?
On Hip, I'm still selling stuff. Like,
You are?
I'm not doing like these large quantities of anything right off the cuff here, but slowly but surely I'm $50 here, $20 here. So it's been consistent. Today's like the first day I haven't had a sale, and the day's not necessarily over.
I'm definitely motivated to grab a long box and put the whole thing up on Hip and see how it does.
Yeah,
Or
give
just
it a go.
Just start everything at $1, or is that a bad idea?
I would. It's tough to say, because I have sold a couple things via auction style, and there aren't many bidders because not as many people are seeing you.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about. It seems like the guys that are in the daily auctions are the big guys with accounts like Premier
and
accounts.
that's the thing, they want you to be in that,
But what is the Premier account? It's like $100 a month, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't the $24 basic.
No, it's like
fee.
$84 a month. But
Gotcha.
anyway,
Gotcha.
I do have some stuff going on, so I do have to jump off.
Yeah,
but
no-
it was
no
nice
problem.
to see you guys on a Thursday,
You too, brother.
and I'll catch up with you soon.
See you, Christopher.
Later, Chris.
Later, Chris. Live long and bowling.
All we see is Jimmy's ass.
Jimmy's scapula.
So you want to do our top 10, sir?
Sure, yeah, we can do it. Let's see. It was interesting because we didn't do last week. I thought that they had actually posted it early this week, and then I was like, wait, no, that was the one we did not review last week.
We can do
And,
both. We can always do. Actually, can you do
I mean, a
last
lot of
week?
it's the same, though, right?
It is, and I don't think you can go back. I don't think you can go back. You know what we could do too is we can always go over the hot 10 on Go Collect.
This one was really, I thought this was a really interesting week because there's some that we talked about recently that I'm puzzled just because of the volume of copies. And then
There was
a
some
bunch of these
puzzlement for sure.
indie kind of books, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll leave you here. I'm gonna get a drink real quick. Go start with Authority.
Yeah, so The Authority won, right? This book got like super hot as soon as James Gunn made his announcement, whatever that was, 3 weeks ago, a month ago, at this point in time, and it just seems like it's interesting because this book you'd think would have been like the Lobo book, but this is its first appearance on the Hot 10. It just kind of was there. I thought I actually might have this book somewhere still in one of the boxes that I hadn't sorted through, and so I checked, and unfortunately I have some of these books, but not this issue. I have issues in the teens and then in the 20s of this series, and so this one was not in the box. But this is probably one of those books that if you have a place that you go to that has back issues, lots of back issues, and certainly if they have back issues of Image or any of those other imprints, this one was on Wildstorm. I guess really once DC acquired Wildstorm, and these books I'm sure are still hanging out in those dollar bins. So this is one certainly to keep an eye out for. We still don't have Dolph. Jim, I feel like I've said enough about this book, right?
Pretty much.
You guys have definitely seen that in the next one, yeah.
I mean, interesting thing about this book, though, a 12-month average, $570 for this book in a 9.8, which is kind of crazy. Again, considering how many are probably in dollar bins somewhere.
This wasn't short printed or anything, though, was it?
Not that I'm aware of, no. So
there's millions of them.
Yeah, I mean, it would. Well, it's probably not going to have. It was 99, so at this point in time, Wildstorm's probably not publishing in the hundreds of thousands. Although, this is at this point it's been acquired. I'm assuming this is already after Wildstorm is like a DC imprint at this point in time.
Yeah, I think so.
Because Wildstorm was one of the Image imprints at one point, right?
Yeah.
And then essentially gets acquired. But 99, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the print run would have looked like. It's a number 1, so the print run would probably be bigger. But is it 100,000? Who knows? But still a book that you'd imagine.
This is what we were talking about last week, though. So a 9.8 in this is selling for almost $400 with a high of $570.
Yeah.
And I'm getting the Damian Waynes for $260.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, you're getting the Damian Waynes, graded
for
9.8,
$260.
Right.
Yeah, it's this is just like a fly by night. I don't think it's going to be much of anything. I don't know. I don't really believe in this book.
So
this
is
like one of those things where, of course,
one of those books that if I found,
yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say that.
If I found, I would probably move, right? Like, or if I found it for $1 and it was pristine, maybe I'd grade it. But you can see here the 9.6 is at $1.64. Yeah. So like, I better be
you're
real
exactly
sure.
Right. And that's something that we should consider next time we go over this 10 list. Is that. Yeah, of course, they're all worth buying, but are they worth keeping or are they worth flipping right now? Like The Last of Us, I would have been selling this book if I had it for a long time now. If I had 10 copies, I might have kept one, but I would be selling all 10 because once the season's over, and it is over now, these books are going to die in a month.
So this book probably has bigger legs because it is like, a team appearance, but I'll kind of give the analogy like, remember when Phi Lavelle, there was all that talk about Phi Lavelle? Mm-hmm. I found those 2 books. I found Captain Marvel 16 and 17. I think I paid a total of like $4 for them. I moved them immediately when they were like super hot.
Yeah, they're $50 books like that.
I think I got like $120 for the 2, $120.
Sure.
70 for one and 50 for the other, because they were those flavor of the weeks. And,
I mean, that was pure speculation too.
Pardon me?
That was pure speculation. She's still not even in a show.
Yeah.
Right?
They've actually maintained, I shouldn't say maintained, but they've receded a little bit, but still have some value,
Yep.
I actually have to break away for 1 second. So now you have to do The Last of Us, your least favorite book on this list.
There's not a whole lot to say about it either.
You might have to jump over this one.
Nicholas, have I seen the Chris's? Actually ran into little young Chris when I saw him at the golf show, and because he works for PGA. So I saw young Chris, and me and his dad we're gonna make some plans to go get some breakfast or something. But yes, I did see Chris. I know lately he hasn't been doing much buying stuff. He's mostly putting out like guitar videos on YouTube and Instagram. So no, I haven't seen him, or I haven't seen his videos lately. I know he's kind of taking a break. But I did see Chris at the golf show, and we're going to see each other. But I'm assuming that when it gets nice out, you'll see those guys at the flea market again. How you doing? Yeah, I will. I'll tell them. All right, but on to The Last of Us, American Dream. There's not a whole lot to say about this, right, Jimmy?
I don't think so.
No. I mean, the show's over. The show's over. These numbers are not going to last. An 8.0 for 269. I have a feeling that in 2 months, you could probably knock 20% off of most of these prices, starting there and just going downhill from there. There's not a whole lot to say about this book. I think it's all been said because it's been on the list for so long. It is short printed. 6,000 issues is not a lot, but in all honesty, if I was going to invest in this book, I would go with the variant covers. There's the one black and white that is probably the rarest cover of them all, but you're gonna pay big money for that one. So we'll just move on past that and go right to Something Is Killing the Children.
Whoa!
You
did the deep cut though.
I am excited about this one.
Yeah, these first four are definitely a little more. Not like Harley's new, but they're newer.
Yeah. But this one, I don't know how they're going to turn it into a TV show. It's going to be pretty graphic, and children are going to be murdered. But I love this book. And what's her name? Jessica Slaughter is Erica Slaughter. I'm sorry, is a awesome character. I love her. So I'm excited.
This book was regularly selling for what, like $1,400, like 2 years ago.
In 9/8, yeah, it was. It did reach over 1,000 during the hype, but I think but 800 seems to be it's settled into what its number should be.
Yeah,
I think. This is. I don't even know. It's 33,000 issues. It's not like it was short printed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, and this one does sell better than its variants. I think that the variant is less than the A cover. Yeah. Well, there's the promo.
16 of them, so.
All right, yeah, but there is this one. The 6th print is only 1,900 copies. I was looking for this one, and this one is only 500 copies. The variant by Schmalke.
Man, there's some dope covers in this.
Yeah, they really are. They really are. I love this machete with the bloody footprints. That's the 6th print. I never saw this one.
That is crazy. $500.
That's the kind of stuff, though, that I was telling Rick. Like, I would tell him, I love this book. As long as they keep making prints, buy one for me. And I would just, for what was it? The Stray Dogs. I kept telling him, just keep buying a Stray Dog. Like, if Stray Dog #1 gets printed like 6 times, just keep getting them for me. Because eventually it'll be short printed. But anyway, I love this book.
It's crazy how many versions of that knife in front of her face there are.
Yeah. Yeah. They printed a lot of these. And now even more. Now you get the what the hell's her name? The what's her, oh my god, what's the girl artist that's been doing the covers for these?
Jenny Friesen.
Jenny Friesen, thank you. She's had like three different covers per number now.
And they had that one that was flat and then die cut and then
They have the die cut,
Die
the
cut.
flat one, then the bloody version and the non-bloody version. Like they have many
I
versions.
really like Jenny Friesen's art.
She's
work,
great.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all colored pencil, right?
Looks like it.
Colored pencil and maybe pastel.
Maybe. But it's
Wow,
good. You're
interesting that you just see the. I didn't know that last year they said that they said that there'd be a February 23 actual drop of the show. Like it seemed. I haven't heard anything about that, so who knows if that's anywhere even close to being true at this point in time. Here
right.
now that
February
we're past
2023,
February 20.
writers have been hired to adapt for Netflix. But not just any writers, though. Weren't they two well-known writers that were known for something else?
It's the people from It.
Oh, from It. Okay. I thought it was the show Dark.
So
or are they the same? Are they the same people?
No, they're the same people.
What does that note even mean? That they where is that?
Now,
they were
now you got me thinking.
February 23, they hired the writers. I thought they hired the
okay.
writers.
I was I thought the thing from 21 was saying that it should have debuted in
Right.
February of 23.
No.
Oh, you're right. You're right, Dolph. It was definitely the Dark because
The writers from Dark.
we joked about there's not that it's a joke, but there's children that get killed in the comics, and then Dark.
Yes.
There's
Dark also, yeah. All right. I mean, Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
It's a great book. It's been a solid book for a long time, and I don't even think you need Harley Quinn in movies to keep this book going. It's just a solid.
How about an 8.0 newsstand can sell for $725?
Well, it's
That's
93, so it's the newsstand numbers are what, less than 10%, right?
93, they'd probably be in that neighborhood. But I mean, you think about, and this is where the power of like a kid's book comes into play, right? First Carnage. Now, First Carnage is in the probably what is the most popular superhero title at that time.
Yeah.
But that book's from what, 92? ASM 361.
Yeah.
And that newsstand doesn't even probably double. I mean, it was maybe when right before the movie, but that book doesn't even double. This book's bonkers.
Yeah.
I mean, a 7.5 of the direct is $490, but a 6.5 newsstand sold for $848.
$848 is crazy. That's
It's also
funny
crazy
too.
that you could have
6.5
bought
sold
an
more than
8.5
8.5.
newsstand for $150 less this week.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nuts. It's a shame mine's got the store stamp on it. I think I might have to just get rid of it and try to use that money to get a nice one. A 9.0 newsstand for
I'd love to know what an
$900.
actual 9.8 newsstand sells for. It's got to be.
These numbers are weird though because a 9.0 is only $200 more than an 8.5 or $50 more than a 6.5.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. It seems like an odd week where people were just paying. That 848's definitely got to be an outlier.
I also don't think this has anything to do with the fact that Lady Gaga, because
Me neither.
I don't think people like us, the comic investors like us, like guys in their mid-40s, they don't give a shit about Lady Gaga. I don't give a shit about Lady Gaga.
Well, I also think Jim and I have talked this a lot. We've all talked about this a lot. Like, I don't know that the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix, a man literally coming unraveled. I don't know that many people thought about that as though it was the Joker from the comic books. Like, I don't think they did. Like, I know I didn't feel that way.
No, it's
I
just
felt
a
like
guy
I was
going
watching.
crazy.
I felt like I was watching a kind of an Oscar kind of a picture where it was like, really.
It felt more like The Taxi Driver.
What's that?
Felt more like Taxi Driver. It was just
Sure,
a guy
exactly,
becoming unhinged, a guy going nuts.
Yeah, it's an unraveling, right?
He's
Yeah,
just,
that's what it is.
I didn't feel like, throw some Joker makeup on him and throw in the he killed the Waynes. Like, I don't know. It was okay. I wasn't thrilled about it, but this whole, I don't know.
It's the only movie that my wife has ever walked out of.
She walked out of it?
Yeah, she left me there.
I can see people walking out of it. It wasn't a comfortable movie to watch.
Halfway through the movie, she just got up. She's like, "Babe, I can't watch this. I'm going to go home."
Oh my God, I remember
So
that.
she went home, and then she came back and picked me up.
It was a hard movie, like because it does seem like, oh, there's people that suffer like this. You know what I mean? That was hard.
Yeah.
I thought about it. That was it was tough.
Yeah, definitely.
But it is interesting because I think you're right. There's probably some little bit of people who are hyped about freaking Harley Quinn, but I don't know.
Harley's forever, man. And Harley is one of those cross-gender super characters, like guys love her, girls love her, and she's just a forever character. Like you can put her in anything. I just, her movies didn't do all that well. I wasn't even that what was it, the Emancipation or whatever, that movie was terrible.
What you mean the
Harley Quinn movie?
City Sirens or whatever it was? No, it wasn't. Birds of Prey.
Was it
The
called?
Birds of Prey?
Wasn't it the Emancipation of Harley Quinn or something like that?
Yeah, it was called the Birds of Prey, the Emancipation of Harley Quinn.
Oh,
It was
okay.
a very long title.
All right, so we're both right. Sounds good.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I
it was
thought
terrible.
Margot Robbie has been good in it has been good in everything, but that movie was a travesty.
It was terrible.
That felt like the production of Batman 66 was less campy than that movie. And I was like,
I always say it felt more like a CW show than it did a movie.
yeah, I was like, you actually had a studio behind you, right? Like you had a lot of money to make this. Like you got Ewan McGregor, for God's sakes, to be in this movie.
Yeah.
It was bizarre, yeah. But all
Whatever.
that being said, this is a book. Even though I'm not a huge fan, like I do really love these. Every time I get one of these books in a collection from the first series, I keep it because the covers are all awesome. That Bruce Timm artwork is awesome.
Yeah.
I was able to pick up the one awesome cover with Man-Bat, his first appearance. I got the one with the Killer Croc cover. I just love the way they're drawn. So
like
really
like you just started saying, lover or hater, this definitely is a book that will do very well in the long term. This is a a keeper. This is definitely a book you
I
hang
have a
on to.
funny and slightly embarrassing story about Harley Quinn.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell us, Sassafras.
I had the Bandai figure of Harley Quinn.
Oh, I love that one. That face is amazing.
It was a great figure, but I really needed some cash. So I took some pictures of it. I had the pictures on my phone. So I go to bathroom, right? And I'm sitting in the bathroom, and I list it, and I sold it before I got out of the bathroom.
What did you price it at? $20?
No, I sold that toy for $110
In the box or out of the box?
in the box. Box.
I remember very clearly, Jimmy, that you and I were in Comic Fortress and we looked at it, and it was as small a scale as it was. It looked so much like Margot Robbie. It was ridiculous.
And I bought it for $45.
Yeah, it was a nice figure. Wasn't it? It's
So
diecast
I literally
too, right?
put it on there, and this guy messaged me. He says, "How much do you want for it? I don't want to go through the bidding." And I said, "I don't know. I mean, I've seen him sell for like 80." He goes, "How about I give you 115?"
Jeez, nice.
And I said, "Okay." And I was like, sold. It was the easiest thing I've ever done in my life, was selling that figure.
Sounds like it. All right, on to Strange Adventures, man.
On to Strange Adventures. Yeah, this one, again, right? This is probably just purely speculative that Justice League Dark is going to happen, and that Deadman's the kind of character that James Gunn would.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say
right?
that. Yeah, I think if they're speculating
Oh,
on
man, if I got a
gun-centric
Silver Age
characters-
DC collection and this was in there, I would not be moving this book. I would be a holder on this book. I should make the caveat. If my book was like a 6 or higher, I think I'd be somebody holding this book.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because you can see here the difference in the 4.5 and the 6.5 is $200, but the
Yeah.
difference in the 6.5 and the 8.0, so that there's 4 grades, it's only $200 difference. Then there's 3 grades, and it almost doubles.
Yeah.
You know, it goes from friggin' $650 to $1,200. So, yeah, I think I would be. This is like that example, Dolph, when you said, was I mad that I sold my Star Trek 1?
Yeah.
No, because I got great money for it. But if I was 2 grades higher,
Yeah.
and I had gotten a 9 or
Yeah.
above, I think it would have been really hard to have, because there's such these big upticks.
Yeah.
With,
You're right.
some Silver Age books.
Yeah, you would have definitely, if you were in where you can visually see the uptick because of the pop count.
Sure.
And once you get into that upper echelon of like now we're into like there are no copies in this high of a grade. I think I'll keep it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get it. What was
like
it,
I said,
an
this one was
8.5?
covers so cool.
Was it an 8.5?
My
Star
no,
Trek?
it was an 8.
It was an 8.0.
8.0. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it almost doubles from an 8.0 to a 9.0. Like something crazy like that. And then once you get above a 9, it gets really expensive.
Sure.
So, yeah, Deadman, do you have a copy of this?
I have 2.
You have 2, okay.
Yeah, I got one. I put one on my birthday list a long, long time ago. I got it for Christmas instead, and then I got one in a collection. So I had bought one, and this was one of the earliest first appearance books I ever bought.
Do you have one that's better than the other, or are they both in the same
They're
kind of
both
condition
pretty
range?
much the same. I would say, like, you know me and my collecting range. I was kind of
3.5
getting
to
stuff in
5.5,
like the
somewhere in
4.5
that
to
area.
5.5. Yeah, exactly. But I bought this book for
Sure.
$100 maybe,
Right.
maybe
Yeah, like a
120.
song, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't much, so happy to have it. I love this cover too.
I'd be interested to see, like, has this book been, is this one of those books that's made considerable gains in like the last 4 years, or has it been pretty expensive for a while?
No, not even. It's been not expensive for a really long time.
Yeah, this is one of those books that you'd love to find the guy that does a show who hasn't repriced the books in 4 years because they just didn't do any show. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. I mean, like I said, that this book came onto my radar only because I read Dead Man in Blackest Night.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I love, because he was a feature character in that storyline, and I loved him. So I immediately got first appearance of him because I just loved the character so much, and that was it. It didn't really. He wasn't on anybody's radar until this whole thing happened. Well, it first came onto the radar when Neil Adams died.
Yep.
Because Neil Adams did a lot of Dead Man, and then after this news, and he's very a gun-centric character. This is the only reason why he's jumped again. But otherwise, this has been a pretty undervalued book for a really long time.
Yeah, this I don't have any recollection of whether this was in those boxes, but I've talked on a couple occasions about, when I first started like really hitting the flea markets trying to find keys and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I got my Marvel Superheroes 20 for whatever it was, like $22 at that outdoor flea market, and he had 1.5 short boxes, basically nothing but keys. And at that point in time, I was still like hesitant to buy kind of mid-grade books. And in my mind now, I think, what was in there? What did I pass up for $70, for $100? You know what I mean? I just think about like where some of these bigger books, and I remember recognizing a ton of the books, but just hadn't planned on seeing stuff like that, so I didn't have a ton of cash with me. Yeah. And also thought to myself, well, maybe I'll see this guy next week, and then just haven't seen him since, kind of thing. So, but he was one of those guys who was like, it clearly hadn't repriced books in 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years. That kind
Yeah,
of
I
thing.
love those guys. I love those guys that always pull out the book, the Overstreet, and I'm like, oh, he does. Well, at least it's been a year or whatever volume it was. It could be 4 years since when they pulled the big book out.
Now, just think about though. There's going to be some of those guys in 2025 who priced their books in 2021. And
Sure are.
their books are going to be.
Yep.
Their books are going to be way too high.
He's gonna be selling his booster gold for $300.
Yeah,
His
yeah, that's true.
raw booster gold for $300. All right,
So,
Swamp Thing.
I mean, we're back to basically the well, at least these next two, the leftovers, right?
Yeah.
So Swamp Thing 1, we've talked this to death. I mean, this is the gun effect and
Yes.
the
and
first,
the next one,
first
Power
in
Girl.
title.
Yeah, I thought I had this book. I'm kind of disappointed. I either sold it, maybe I sold it. I'm kind of bummed that I did. If I did.
It just seems crazy that people are buying 6.0s for $225 when they could get an 8.0 for $300.
Yeah.
You know, and I realize,
Yeah, it is
you know,
crazy.
I realize like, well, you need that extra $75 still, and like,
Yeah.
and that's not like it's $75 is certainly not nothing, right? Like,
Sure.
but if you're looking for this book in particular, like, you know, I would figure out a way to get the extra $75,
Yeah.
or you know, or commit the extra $75. I mean, look at somebody bought an 8.0 for $300, but an 8.5 went for $510. You know what I mean? Like that is crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. I'm bidding
So-
on a Surfer one right now.
On eBay or on
On high bid.
They
Oh,
just
cool.
announced. They just announced the writer for the Silver Surfer TV series.
Silver Surfer TV series. What?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Netflix or Amazon.
Silver Surfer TV series?
Yeah,
When did they
They just
announce
announced-
a Silver Surfer TV series? Let alone a
I
writer.
don't
for
know,
it?
but they announced the writer yesterday.
Is this Everything Always? If it's a YouTube
Oh,
channel,
maybe it is.
Everything Always, that guy makes stuff up. He's such a piece of shit.
No. This was I saw this. No, I saw this somewhere else.
Huh. Okay. Maybe we'll hunt it down later. That's interesting. Next.
next one. You know, Power Girl.
Yeah.
Good God,
Power
the 9.8 to this book.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's not even a hard. It's like I have a couple of pretty high grades. 9.8 doesn't seem like a hard thing to obtain for this book. It's not. It's 76.
What is? Yeah, 76 and $2,600.
Yeah, that's
good
crazy.
Lord.
It's got to be the pop count. I don't know. Maybe just people haven't graded their nice copies yet. But like I said, I have a pretty nice copy myself.
There's also
Maybe they
nothing
just,
like
the grade goes up with their bus count. I don't know.
Yeah.
there's also like nothing in particular about the cover that would make it impossible, you know, to get a 9.8. It's not like it's jet black, you know, like or
Right.
anything like that.
Yeah,
It's
it doesn't
just,
have any of the things against it that would make it
Yeah.
such a hard book to get.
just more oil stains, I suppose, or oil
that
stain,
oil stain.
oil stain halftone patterns. I mean, heck, that one I gave you is probably you could probably pull a 4 or 5
Yeah.
and get $130 out of it.
I think I won.
Man, that difference between a 9.0 and a 9.8 is substantial.
I know, it's crazy. I think I won my Silver Surfer. Finally got
awesome.
one. It's a 4 or 5.
It's graded already.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
I got it for 400.
That's even better.
Yeah. I like it.
That's crazy. They're comparing this book to a Marvel Spotlight 32. There are 2,461 graded copies of All-Star 58, There are 5,109 of Marvel Spotlight 32. On average, a 9.8 of Spider-Woman sold for 500 to 1,500 higher than Power Girl between 2021 and 2023, and they're more than double the 9.8s of Marvel Spotlight 32.
So there are a lot of 9.8s on the census already. Like I said, this isn't a...
I mean, it's 2,400 graded.
Yeah, I've seen high grades of this book all over the place. I wonder what the 9.6 data is. It's weird because it shows you a 9.0 and a 9.8.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting when we look at books like Hulk 1 or what was the book that we looked at? Was it Journey in a Mystery 1 annual? There's no 9.8s exist of that book.
Oh, the Hercules book.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's no 9.8s.
And just how...
That's because it's square bound, though.
Yeah, but I mean, there was I think there was still less than 1,000 or something like that graded, and that was even after everybody knew he was going to appear.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see there's already 2,400 of these graded. So I could imagine the pop count blowing up by another 300 or 400, within the next couple of months for this particular book.
I'm about to win something else, I think. 3, 2, 1. I won. Silver Surfer 4.
Mephisto. No, that's Jimmy's cover.
The Thor book.
That's Buscema Thor book. Mephisto's 3.
3.5.
Nice.
How's the black? Is the black good on it?
Looks pretty good. Yeah, not bad.
So this next one is going to be a radar blip, the Shazam 1.
Yeah, this one's going to just like a fart in the wind, man. And I saw the movie, I actually liked it. But did you hear all about that Rock stuff?
No.
Man,
something about him blocking characters or something?
So Rock's a piece of shit, man. So basically, Shazam was supposed to be at the end of Black Adam instead of Superman, which he vetoed. And the Justice League not Justice League of America, the Justice Society of America was supposed to be at an end credits in Shazam. Rock said no. And so basically Rock, he cratered Shazam's success for his own selfish reasons.
Which didn't even work because
he wanted
Black Adam didn't have the...
Because he wanted Black Adam to be basically up against the greatest superhero of all time.
He wanted to go right against Superman instead of do canon and fight Shazam. And then Superman could have joined, and it could have been Shazam and Superman versus Black Adam, but no. Rock wanted to be all about him, so... Yeah, kind of dirty, man.
Didn't Ant-Man then make more money than Black Adam? And
yeah,
and everybody said Ant-Man was a financial failure because it's only going to do $500 million.
Well, but I think Black Adam. So that's the other thing that The Rock was doing. He was trying to make it appear that the Black Adam was more successful. That he would Instagram hey, just talk to the financiers, and it looks like we're gonna be in the green. Nah, dude. This movie cratered, and you're the big reason for it. Take responsibility instead of fudging the numbers so everybody thinks that you did well. It's just, I don't know. The Rock is not looking good in this whole thing. He just looks like a selfish asshole.
He's looking
he looks
like the
every
version
other
of The Rock
mega action star
in the Ballers TV show.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, but it's The Rock is a brand, so The Rock, if The Rock's involved, The Rock's got to, yeah, whatever. I don't know. It's just pretty gross.
It couldn't smell what The Rock was cooking.
I guess not.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing where Rock was trying to take it over and push everything into his direction, and I don't know how you make a universe around a bad guy anyway. That's never gonna work. It's got to be around good guys, not bad guys. It's just the whole thing. It was a bad idea. But whatever.
You know what's really interesting to me? So when we were kids, obviously, you know, it was Schwarzenegger and Stallone, right? Those were like the
Course.
action stars.
And then Chuck
But
Norris
even
was like another huge one.
right, but even in the '80s, like you had these guys who were action stars, but you also had a billion other really actors. They're in a weird time in Hollywood where there are literally millions of people who are influencers on things, right?
Yeah.
There's so many people. You've never been able to be more aware of people that could have the talent to be an actor, have the physical physique
True.
to play a role, this, that, the other thing, and yet they just seem to say, like, let's just keep casting these same, like,
Well,
same
they've also said though that like
seven
now,
or eight people.
yeah, now more than ever though is kind of the death of the movie star, like the premiere,
Sure.
like, you know, and back in the day, like we would go see a Schwarzenegger movie, no matter what
Sure.
it was. Like Schwarzenegger is the guy in the poster; he's the guy we go see. It's not
You know,
like
Lou
that.
said to me the other day, she says, "Who's Arnold Schwarzenegger?"
Yeah, I mean the guy's
And I
almost
was like,
80
"Oh
years
my
old.
gosh,
of
I didn't
course.
really think about the
Who said
idea that they were so far removed."
Yeah,
Who said that?
Lucy.
Lucy,
Lucy did.
but she did understand or was able to recall the phrase "get to the chopper."
Yeah, well,
So
there you
it's
go.
clear. It's clear that that's been like memed or something like that. That she's heard "get to the chopper," but
It's-
she hasn't. She has no idea who.
It was in
who
a it
Arnold
was in a
Schwarzenegger
TikTok,
is.
right?
Probably.
That's
yeah.
how they know. Nick knows more of my pop culture stuff just because it was like it's a quick not even a 2-second clip in a
Right.
TikTok video, and he's like, yeah, I'll even say like, Nick, let's watch that movie. He's like, I've already seen it. I was like, a 2-second clip
I've
encapsulates an
seen it.
entire movie, and you're like, oh, it's such a shame. I got Nick now, so I did. You know how I'm watching that Rewatchables podcast? How I'm listening to that one.
Yeah.
So I actually made a list of all the movies that were on the Rewatchable podcast, and I've got my son to agree to start watching some of them with me. So I was like, you got to see some of these movies. They're so good.
It's like the kids who like knew the phrase "Bears beats Battlestar Galactica"
Yeah.
long before they had actually watched an episode of like the pandemic really helped them like actually watch episodes of The
Right,
Office.
right.
My class, I told them in the beginning of the year that that I could give them a list of my top 100 movies, and at least 4 of them won it at the end of the semester.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah, I lost a lot of these auctions. Damn.
Well, we certainly don't need to talk about Omega Men 3.
Oh, I won an Iron Man 1. I put in a bid early this afternoon.
No, you're gonna win all the 68s today.
Yeah, it looks like that.
Did you win a Submariner one today?
No, I already have one of those, but when I put together my stuff on CLZ, I thought I had an Iron Man 1. I swear I showed it to you.
There.
I guess not. Now the only thing left on this auction is a Iron Man, a Tales of Suspense 39. It's up to $5,000 though for a 2.5. I mean, it's worth
all right,
it.
gents, I'm closing down here at the shop. So
All right, brother. I think it's
I will
worth
say
at
good
least
evening.
8 or 9. Yeah, we didn't even have to say anything about Omega Man.
No.
No. And
We don't really need to say anything about the Wooly book either, because
Nah, there's nothing to say about it.
I'm really surprised that Wooly book, that is all iconic cover and stuff like that, because
Be right back. Keep talking. Go right.
I feel like we saw something and then checked the pop count. I want to say there are north of 20,000 copies of this book graded. I could be wrong, but I think it's north of 20,000 copies. If Faust, if you're still on, can I get a confirmation? I think that's what it. I think that's what it is. It's like 22 or 23,000 times this book has been graded, which to me is just freaking crazy that the book is still holding as much value as it is. It has to be because of the cover. It has to be, and it probably says a lot as to why there's such a steep drop off from the 9.8 to the 9.6. So this particular book has a precipitous drop off from the
it's from 1982 too. So finding these in high grade is not difficult.
Yeah. Dolph, do you have your
Account?
CGC account?
Yeah, I can look at it.
I want to say it was north of 20,000 copies. So, which is just crazy once you start talking about like in comparison, right? We were just talking about Something's Killing Children as not being a particularly low pop count, and there was 33,000 of them ever produced, and there's probably 25,000 of these actually graded, not produced, actually graded, which is just crazy.
No, that's not right. Why is this not showing up? Wolverine limited series, right? From Marvel Comics. Oh, that says 2013.
Yeah.
There it is, 82. There are 24,000 comics graded.
24,000.
Yeah, and here's an even crazier number: 4,700 9/8s.
Wow.
And 5,800 9/6s and 4,200 9/4s. Like, it's crazy.
So wait, almost there's 13,000 plus that are 9.4 or above.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's also 29 9/9s and 3/10s. So it's like 9.8 is not a hard thing to find.
Makes a lot of sense though why a 9.4 is only $140 book.
Yeah.
Makes I'm sorry, I haven't looked at the wrong book.
I know
it makes
mean,
a lot.
yeah.
A 9.4 still almost a $300 book, which is it's crazy.
And there's 4,200 of them.
4,200 of them.
Here's the crazy number though, because of the McFarlane thing. Or not McFarlane. Wait, did Frank Miller do a signature series on this?
Frank Miller was due. I felt like Frank Miller was coming up to do a signature.
So 4751 9/8s, 3,700 Universal, 1,029 signature series.
Good Lord.
There's 900 9/6 signatures and 600 9/4 signatures. That's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot.
That's a lot. Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
even after Frank Miller was manhandling them, there's still 9/8s.
Speaking of manhandling, did you watch the Passes Alive's video recently about him finding a Jeter Stadium Club rookie in a antique mall?
No.
And the best part is he found it like within 15 miles of me, and I think I know which antique mall, and he took it up the counter. We've talked about this on this whatever we do webcast, and he said that the person at the front, it was in a penny sleeve. The person at the front went and grabbed it like this, and then was digging at the 50 cent or the $15 price tag, and he said, "Can I see the card?" He takes the card out of the sleeve, and now there's like an 1.5 inch long crease on the card. And he said, "I'm not interested in buying this anymore." And he said the people looked at him like he was crazy, like they couldn't understand why he wouldn't want to buy the thing anymore.
It's like you just destroyed it right in front of me.
And we talk about this all the time about like this idea of antique malls.
Yeah, they have no idea.
Selling antiquities or at the Comic-Con, I told you guys are like manhandling my books as they're flipping through the short boxes. It was like, what if you wanted one of those books? Wouldn't you want it to be pristine? Wouldn't you want it to be as clean as possible? Well, then don't destroy my comic books.
I don't know how many times you just see. You know how they're handling it at CGC? They're going like this.
Yeah.
You know
yeah.
they're handling them like that. That's
Yeah.
because when I press and clean these books, there's no spine ticks, but sure enough, when you get them back, there's 3 or 4 of them. You're like, I didn't do that.
The freaking like corner crunches and stuff though, that's what kills me. It's like, oh, those are things that drop books, multiple grades.
Yeah.
And they're happening on
Yeah.
a regular basis, and there's like no recourse for the customer too. So that's what just drives you bonkers.
Yeah, it does.
So that's the hot 10 for this week. It's
That's a hot
interesting
10.
hot 10. It seemed like almost split between
DC and Marvel, or
DC
and
Marvel,
independent.
and a couple indies in there.
Yeah,
and then it also seemed split between, modern and
Silver.
mostly silver, but
Yeah.
well, I shouldn't say mostly silver. There's Power Girls,
That's
probably bronze, right? And
Wolverine's
Wolvie's bronze too. So, or Wolvie's, Wolvie's still bronze
82, yeah, bronze.
too, yeah. So, it was an interesting. I should say it was a more interesting than recent ones have been.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely, but it's still DC heavy. And it's so far off, and even the speculation books are even further off because he kind of just shared with us like maybe the first 4 years. That stuff, unless it's like other worlds, like Batman with what's his name? I forgot. Matt Reeves. Or the Joker movie. That's the otherworld stuff. Like I don't know if they do a Dead Man show. I don't know if he fits in.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I heard somebody came up with a pretty good idea for a Clayface movie, and I definitely would like to see that, but I don't know how that fits in either. If it's in Matt Reeves' universe or it's in another Otherworlds thing, like in the Penguin universe, I don't know how that fits.
That is the thing that I think James Gunn has an amazing opportunity to do. They're giving them kind of the keys to the the castle, and if he can make them all seem like they're in the same universe, the way, for all the nitpicky stuff that people say about, and some of it's not nitpicky, but for all the stuff people are kind of digging at Marvel about these days, they still feel like they're in the same plane of existence, right? Like the way Ant-Man, even though the Ant-Man movies and the Guardians movies are funnier, they still feel like they're part of the same universe as.
You know what the problem is that, and you've seen it now. The problem is that what is Kang's motivation?
Yeah.
You know what Thanos was going for from the get-go. Like, you knew what his motivation was. Like, what is Kang's... I get you're telling me he's a bad guy, but what is his motivation? What does he want to do? He just wants... Like, Thanos wanted to kill half of existence. This guy just wants to murder everybody.
It was interesting, you could see... I don't know.
That's the other thing too. So
it was almost
kind of
like they were trying to be kind of the same heady way that Thanos was, but Kang's version of headiness seems less likely, or seems less, it just seems less plausible.
But the whole thing is, so you got Kang at the end of Loki, but that's not the real Kang. The Kang at the end of Ant-Man, but maybe that's not the real Kang, because at the end credits, those are the Kangs that I should be worried about. Yeah. So then you're like, so what's going on here? Like, it's so confusing. There's no direction. I feel like, Endgame ended it for a lot of people. I think that was like a shut door on a lot. And to reopen it with this new thing, it's hard to get motivated into it. It's really, it's difficult.
Yeah, I think I love all the content, I love the shows and stuff like that, but it does seem like they've lost a little bit of the specialness of the movies, because you see them in these other properties. And so it'll be interesting to see if they keep going that route. It'll be interesting to see if they keep doing that stuff because, you got to get people back in the movie theaters. People on streaming like to binge stuff, and like it doesn't seem like like people are less interested about episodic stuff. I still like actually.
I like it too. I think that if you can take a movie idea and put it over 10 episodes, and if you can keep the audience, I think it's a better way to tell a story for sure.
Yeah.
But on another thought, like something that I had thought was a good idea for a long time was something that Disney or Pixar movies used to do, and still do, is run a 3-minute short before a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had Ant-Man, but you wanted to introduce a cool new character, do a 3-minute short about him. Like you wanted to introduce, Cassie as Stinger, or you wanted to introduce one of the X-Men characters. Like why not do it in a 3-minute short before the movie starts? And then you're like, hey, this is a new character, and here's your origin story, and you can do it in 3 minutes, and get excited about a character.
You could even do it in a different medium. Like think about how like the Kung Fu Panda movies would do the setup of whomever the big bad was.
Yeah, I remember that.
In almost this aside where it was like anime as opposed to computer animation,
right.
or like everything is pen and ink, or it's watercolor.
Yeah.
Like I like that idea a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, there were also, I remember I forgot, some of these like high suspense movies would put up like a cryptic website that you kind of got to figure stuff out to get you excited about it. They don't do that well anymore.
Yeah.
They don't get you excited about things anymore. I keep saying, and I keep going back to the Rewatchables podcast, is because, they just went over like, here are the top 10 movies in 1994. And you're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
There were some good movies in 94. Like, if you're like, here's the top 10 movies in 1984, and you're like, they are bangers. Like, every single one of them is like, holy crap. Top 10 movies in 1984. This will blow your mind. Indiana Jones, Footloose, or that's Temple of Doom, Footloose, 16 Candles, Karate Kid, Never-Ending Story, Red Dawn, Romancing the Stone, Starman, The Natural, Amadeus, Gremlins, Terminator, Beverly Hills Cop, Conan the Destroyer, Johnny Dangerously. Like, that doesn't happen anymore. This does not go... Oh, Ghostbusters, Cannonball Run 2, Police Academy, Children of the Corn... It goes on and on. Dune.
Don Mattingly's Rookie.
But it's
come on.
It's like, it's absolutely bonkers. Like, that was a Last Starfighter. Toxic Avenger, Spinal Tap, Repo Man. These are great movies.
Yeah.
This doesn't happen anymore. You can't look back at last year and name me 30 awesome movies. Yeah. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think a lot of it is like, what we're going to see. Like, we're going to see sports, and it kills me to know that this is going to come with sports. But sooner or later, they're going to get to the point where, like, it's not financially sustainable, like, or we could see that as a future. Like, right now in the NFL, the disparity between what quarterbacks are making and then what some other players are making, and the fact that you can't
when I heard that running backs are so devalued now that $10 million is a lot for a running back, that's crazy.
Well, you saw Austin Eckler's like holding out, right?
He should be.
And he should be, right?
Yeah, he should be.
But like, you saw they gave Daniel Jones like $40 million a season.
I know, it's crazy. Daniel Jones,
which is basically giving the Eagles 8 wins over the next 4 years. Like, it is
crazy. It's absolutely crazy how much a quarterback gets. But that also says a lot about sports cards too. Like if it's not a quarterback, don't bother.
Yeah, no,
Running
no,
backs,
no.
running backs,
That's what I
wide
mean. I guess
receivers,
that's what I mean. It's like
no value.
it's this boom and bust. So like now in movies, you know, they said, oh, the blockbuster movies, the blockbuster's dead, so we'll rein back on that. And then it was all these indie movies, which were great movies, but you can't blow a lot of stuff up because you don't have the money to blow a lot of stuff up. So like the stories become more human stories, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that's
I just
the way
don't
they
think nobody takes chances anymore.
But then Disney with Marvel was like, I don't know, let's push these budgets out a little bit again, and they were crushing it. So we spent $400 million. It made $2 billion.
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't matter.
They were
right.
crushing it, and then then it's like this weird ebb and flow, and then you get a little bit out over your skis, to use the expression, and you give a director and it's like, yeah, you can spend $300 million, and then nobody keeps them in check. Then you're like, oh yeah, we shouldn't have done that.
Then you get
and
then
they
God
pull
11
back
Thunder
for several years. Sorry, there's an NHL commercial on ESPN right now, and they're showing Modern Stars and then the NHL '94 intermixed between it, and I can't not watch
the video game.
Yes, yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, the next golden era is now is the commercial for the NHL. Like
that's like what is it? Swingers. Look at the blood. I made Gretzky bleed.
Yeah, he's so right. NHL '94 is the greatest sports game ever made.
Yeah, it is.
So, well,
yeah,
I don't have a lot more to say.
No, that's it for tonight.
Just old man rants. So hopefully I can move these books this weekend.
That stuff that we rant about fuels what's to come.
Sure. Yeah.
I just think, like I said, there's less risk. People are taking less risk, which is why you have 6 Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Sure.
Because they're just going with what they think's a successful IP, and they're just going to spit it out until it. That's why we have 10 Fast and Furious movies, because those movies are straight up shit.
Yes.
They're garbage.
Yes, yeah.
They're fucking garbage. I'm sorry. Two Dodge Chargers flying in the air to take out a helicopter with a safe is ridiculous.
You know what's so funny about those movies too? They're almost so offensive to everybody
they really
that
are.
the other international communities don't block them, right? Like whereas the last 10 Marvel movies, if there's anything that's got any kind of social commentary, you're not going to make $2 billion anymore because China's not even going to release the movie, and they're the second biggest movie going public on the planet. But the Fast and Furious movies, they're everything's kind of offensive.
That's the thing.
It's
we're I guess us older guys are just I don't get this crap, and these kids are just like this when it comes to Fast and the Furious.
Yeah,
that's how
true.
the stupid Transformer movies made billions of dollars. Those movies are terrible. They are terrible. You can't even look at the screen and tell me what's going on. It's just barf. It's VFX barf.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
it's
cool that they can make the
God,
Transformers look like that, but the dialogue itself,
God.
As to borrow from my daughter, she would just say, that's a mid. It's a mid movie, and I've come to use the word mid a lot in my life to just be like, yes, this is the diarrhea of pop culture that exists right now. There's nothing that anybody actually tried on.
Terrible. Best
yeah. Well, you have to let me know. You have to let me know about the card show.
Yeah.
What's happening if you're going to get into one of these and.
I'm definitely gonna find one soon. I gotta get organized. I started two behind me.
I think if you could do that church basement show, it's at least enough to dip your toes in the water.
I'll ask my friend Dale and see if there's a spot for me. You're right. It could be what, $20?
Yeah.
Maybe $40. I'll make that for sure.
And I like the idea, they're probably not gonna have a 3-table spread, so all you're gonna have to worry about is I got 6 foot by 30 inches. That's the space I'm going to have. So I can only take, and you already know, I'm going to take my, 5 for $1 box. I'm going to take my dollar box, and I'm going to take
Yeah.
2 of my cases, and that's the
Yeah.
whole setup, right?
All I have to do is sell one card out of the case, and I made my money.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's worth like I said, I think it's worth giving it a look see for sure.
Yeah. You're right. I don't know how often. I don't know if it's quarterly. It doesn't seem like it happens that often. I think it might be like 4 a year.
Okay.
They might be one every 3 months. I'm not sure. I gotta look into it. But yeah, do you ever want to do a show out here? We can also arrange that if it fits into your schedule.
The interesting thing about you were saying about going to King Con too. You can chat up the promoter there too, because that was a fellow who just wanted to have a kind of old school comic show and just comics, right? And that's how that got off the ground.
Well, King Con is by what's those guys? Pressable Defects. I think those guys are they either friends with the guy who runs it?
Yeah, they're friends with the fellow. Yeah. But they're not the ones. They had him on the show. They had him on with Very Gary and them, I think 2 years ago or something like that, when they were doing the.
It's a really successful show.
Yeah, it's a successful show. Yeah, because like you said,
he's like, why don't you get into King Con? I was like, there's no tables. It's waitlisted for years.
Yeah, because it's only like 30 vendors or something like that.
It's a small room. It really is a small room. It's maybe It's
I think it's a couple rooms in a space, but it's not like it is like 30 vendors or something like that.
There's one main room, and I think there's 2 smaller rooms and a hallway, and I think that's it. Because Pressable Defects are in the hallway. They're like right by the table that you pay the admission fee.
Mm-hmm.
I just Big Apple is a nice show to go to, but it's $30 to get in there.
Wow, that is crazy.
$30.
Yeah, I think they said King Con is $10 or something like that.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll pay 10. Usually it's 5, but $30-something for me and my kid. Me and Nick to go. It's $70 just to walk the show.
Well, plus you got to freaking get into the city. So
right. Yeah.
There's another 30. There's another 30 or 40. Well, that's probably $40,
probably,
and that's before you. Parking, that's before you eat a bite of food or anything like that too.
Yep.
So
crazy. I can't believe I won those 3 books in the last 2 hours. Iron Man 1, Silver Surfer 1, Silver Surfer 4.
It's a good night.
That's a good night. I was gonna go in hard on that Tales of Suspense 39. Try to get that Iron Man because it's like $5,000 under retail.
Yeah, like I said, there's
5,000 is really low.
That's why Dolph, like you're you always say start the bids at 99 cents, and I think that was my mentality a year ago too, and it was working. And what I've seen right now is like you start the bids at 99 cents, you could sell a $30 book for $4. Like a book that you should get $30 for, like my Death of Phoenix. I sold it. I only got one bid, $20. That was my opening because that's what I had as my opening bid. So it went for $20.
What?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yep. No, I didn't pay a lot for it. So, but
still, that's a book that should command a lot more than that.
Yep.
And you started it at 99 cents?
No, I started at $20. It got the opening bid, and that's all it got.
Yeah, I always feel like the cream will rise if you start good stuff at 99 cents, it should rise. Like I have a lot of I feel comfortable when I list a lot of Richard stuff at 99 cents that at some point once it gets eyeballs on it, you'll just see, I get the emails. I'm like the bid is just bid, and when you see something has like 15 bids on it, that gets people excited about it.
Yeah, I mean that you hope that that's the case, but like for instance, my She-Hulk 1, right, which is pretty clean. It ends in 2 days and 22 hours. It ends on Sunday night. It's got 57 views. It's got 10 watchers. I made the opening bid $50. It does not have an opening bid yet.
But you know those
So
watchers are gonna snipe in the last 2 minutes, right?
I'll probably sell it for $50. Like,
think so?
hopefully I don't, but
I don't think you will. I think you'll do better than you think. But,
so.
I mean, I understand that being a concern for sure.
Yeah.
But
So-
then you can put it under your store as a
Sure.
buy it now, and it'll just sit there for years.
Yeah, and that's the
then
thing. Yeah.
What'll happen is over time you'll gain 30 watchers, and then you're gonna actually have to throw a bid out there because nobody's gonna buy it.
Yeah, the other frustrating part is people are just not giving feedback that much now either, which is just
Oh, you got to use a service that I use. I get feedback for almost
does it-
everything.
does it respond or ask people for feedback?
So it automatically, 2 days after the item shows as delivered, it sends an email saying, "Hey, I'm so happy you like the fill in the blank.
Okay.
I'm how this community works is you give feedback, you get feedback, and that's how it works, and usually people do, and
Yeah, I
I've
mean,
gained
I respond and give people feedback
Yeah.
all the time. So, I shouldn't say respond. I actually give proactive and give people feedback. So, it's I don't know.
Once in
It's
my
crazy.
life, and it just happened, some guy wrote me. He's like, "If you ever solicit good feedback again, I will give you bad feedback." And I was like, "Well, you can't really do that because I could just tell eBay and they'll shut you down. That is no reason to give anybody bad feedback. But go ahead and
also
try."
like-
That's
It's
kind
also
of shitty.
dude. As my friend says, who hurt you? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
who
That's kind of
hurt
how
you that, like,
that's kind of how I framed it. I said that's first, that's unnecessary. 2, it's automated, and 3, you're not allowed to do that. So whatever.
It's just like, if you solicit good feedback, well, were you happy with what I sent you? Oh, you were? So why wouldn't you give me good feedback anyway? You know, like,
because you're just walking.
why should I ask
Because
you-
you're just a
why should I-
walking around dick, 24/7.
Why should I have to remind somebody to give feedback in the first place? You know?
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Anywho, all right,
All
brother.
right, kids.
Yep, it's been real. I gotta figure out a button. I have this button where I can just stop recording. I love this Stream Deck. It's really cool. But I got like 3 things I gotta shut down all within like a few seconds, or otherwise the thing continues. It's so
Yeah.
crazy. If anybody's still listening, Nick, Rafaust,
Yeah,
Nick,
thanks so much, guys.
John,
Thanks so much for
Richard,
the
if you're on, thanks
jumping in
for
on
yeah.
the Thursday show.
Yeah, I know it's a little off time, weird time, but thanks for watching. Appreciate you all.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Later, brother.
Bye. See you.